Hi all, this is Dr. Kala S.J., an Associate Professor of English and Dean of Research at Fatima College, Madurai. Today we're going to have a look at novel and the narrative modes. So now there are different narrative modes that are employed by novelists in a novel. So narrative modes in a novel refer to the methods and techniques that an author uses to tell the story. So it might vary from one novel to another. To start with, we have the first person narrative mode or points of view, which is normally called as abbreviated as POV. Novels are generally narrated from different perspectives. In a first person point of view novel, you will find pronouns like I, me, and my being used to recount events. And in a first person point of view novel, you get access to the narrator's thoughts, feelings, and experiences. One such example is Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye. You get to know about the intimate insight into the thoughts and feelings of the narrator. Next is the second person point of view. In this kind of novel, there is a direct address to the reader as you, making the reader a participant in the narrative. This POV, as I told you earlier, point of view abbreviation, is less common in novels, but it can create a unique and immersive reading experience. Like the one that you find in J. McInerney's Bright Lights, Big City. Then you have the third person limited point of view. You have the third person point of view, which can be divided into the third person limited and the third person omniscient. So the third person limited point of view, you have a narrator who is not part of the story, but he is an external member to the story. He is external to the story, and he uses pronouns such as he, she, they, and the narrator focuses on the thoughts and experiences of a single character. Thus, he or she provides insights into their perspective, as you find in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. It balances insight into the character's inner world with a broader perspective of the story. Next is the third person omniscient point of view. Here, the narrator also is external to the story, but the narrator is allowed to know and reveal the thoughts and feelings and experiences of multiple characters, not just one character. Here, the narrator has godlike sight or has power, and thereby the narrator provides broader perspectives across different characters and events, as you find in Tolstoy's War and Peace. It provides a comprehensive view of the story world. Next is the stream of consciousness. It's a narrative mode that attempts to capture the continuous flow of a character's thoughts and feelings. Now, when I'm talking to you, you might be thinking of what next to watch, which case series to watch, and then the moment you think of it, you are reminded of an event there. Then you go on to think of something else. So there occurs a chain of events. So a stream of consciousness is a narrative mode that attempts to capture the continuous flow of a character's thoughts as well as feelings, and it often lacks conventional structure. It reflects the inner workings of the mind, and the best example is James Joyce's Ulysses. Next is the epistolary point of view. Epistolary novels are structured as a series of letters, diary entries, or emails, sometimes even documents written by the characters within the story, and therefore it provides a personal and often fragmented perspective. This format allows multiple points of view through the correspondence of different characters, as you find in Bram Stoker's Dracula. The next is frame narrative. It's a story within a story. A story within a story is a frame narrative where an initial narrative sets the stage for the plot. Okay? And thereafter you find a more emphasis second narrative. It adds depth and context to the main story. And the best example is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Then you have the unreliable narrator who presents the story from his or her own biased or distorted perspective. And that leads the readers to question two things: accuracy and truthfulness of the narrative. And this technique can add complexity and intrigue to the storytelling, as you find in Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. The narrative's credibility is comprehended or compromised due to bias, limited knowledge, or intentional deception, cheating, thereby creating a suspense and prompting readers to question the truth. F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby would be a good example for it. Then you have the objective narrative or dramatic mode. Here, the narrator reports events in a detached, impersonal manner without delving into characters' thoughts and feelings, unlike the other narrators. And this narrator is often compared to or narrative mode is often compared to a camera lens capturing the scene. And you find this technique or this mode employed by Ernest Hemingway in his Hills Like White Elephants. So each point of view offers distinct advantages and challenges. How the story is presented and perceived by readers influence the narrative style. It helps in developing the character, and it also helps in engaging the readers throughout the novel. Each narrative mode offers a different way to engage with the story and characters. Thus, it shapes the reader's experiences as well as interpretations. Thank you so much for your patient watching. Hope this video was useful.